Okay, welcome back to the second video in my things I'm looking forward to seeing this season for Newcastle United. This is part two. Part one, I've put a link up here. Let's get straight on with it. And the first thing that I'm really excited about for this season is seeing us attempt to win a cup. The FA Cup and League Cup should be so exciting again this season. We obviously made the final of the League Cup last season. We lost to Manchester United. Bad timing, I believe, on our part, but on another day we would have won that. But football's football, it didn't happen. Let's see if we can get back. I also really want to see us have a good run in the FA Cup. We last season proved that our squad wasn't ready to fight in three competitions, and we kind of lost our way in the FA Cup because we put out a weakened second team essentially, and it cost us against Sheffield Wednesday. That's fine. This season, I don't think we'll have that problem. We've strengthened the squad. We've got a healthier midfield. We've got more players who've come good. And really, we should be able to give both cup competitions a good run. As far as the Champions League goes, in my opinion, if we get knocked out in the group stage, it's not a big deal this season because it's all about getting back to the Champions League next season and then building. So that means that we can focus on the domestic cups this season and hopefully try and bring a trophy back to St James's Park for the first time in God knows how long. Please let that happen. Second thing I'm really excited about this in this particular video is seeing Tonali and Harvey Barnes, our new signings. Now, obviously, very, very exciting. We've bought a player in Tonali who is has a very high ceiling, basically. Already played Champions League football, already won Serie A. You know, quality player. A player that his club didn't want to lose. We managed to buy him ahead of other clubs. It was a bit of a statement, I think, that we bought him. And I can't wait to see how he plays alongside Bruno, with Bruno, and what that dynamic's like, because really we're going to have two properly brilliant players in our central midfield, and it does bring into question how the rest of the players fit around them. But ultimately, Bruno and Tonali are going to be like the linchpin of the whole system, I think, next season, and I can't wait to see it. Harvey Barnes really excites me as well. The fact that he, in a relegated Leicester team, got so many assists and goals and things like that is impressive. I think he'll be much more productive than Saint-Maximin was for us in that respect. Now, I'm not trying to badmouth Saint-Maximin. I'm really grateful for what he did to the club while he was here. But for me, with this Eddie Howe system, you can see how Harvey Barnes fits that better than Maxi ever could. And I think it's a smart replacement for a good player, but hopefully in Harvey Barnes we're going to have someone who is still young enough to develop and come really, really good. So I'm really excited to see those players come through and see how they get on. Number three is more players, basically. I'm really excited to see. There's so many players I'm excited about seeing this season. But number three, I really cannot wait to see what Lewis Miley and Elliot Anderson do this season. Now, obviously, Lewis Miley is very young, 17 years old, but in pre-season has impressed a bit. Eddie Howe is keeping him in the first team squad. That is massive. Like, that's a huge statement for a 17-year-old to not be shipped out on loan. That's huge for him. And I'm not saying he'll get loads and loads of games and minutes, but clearly Howe wants him as part of the squad. So I think we will see him during this season. And if we pick up a couple of injuries, maybe he'll get some starts as well. That's exciting to have a 17-year-old who supports the club come through and potentially be brilliant is massive and very, very exciting. And then obviously Anderson, he had a great time at Bristol Rovers a couple of years ago. He stuck around, didn't go out on loan last season, started to break into the team, and again has looked really, really good in pre-season this summer. And again, I do appreciate pre-season, you take it with a pinch of salt. But if Anderson can step up this season, then we've suddenly got two youngsters there who potentially, in Miley and Anderson, could just be at the club for a decade or more, and that is absolutely huge for the club in terms of financial fair play, but also just brilliant that actually we're bringing players through for once and coaching them well and making them develop into good players. So let's hope that happens. Number four, what I'm really excited about seeing this season is how we fare against the big boys, so to speak. So how will we get on against Man City? I mean, we gave Man City a game last season at home without a doubt. We scared them. What about Arsenal, Liverpool, who are going to come good this season? I've got no doubt Liverpool will be back up towards the top four again this season, much better than they were last season. Man United are still going to be a factor. Chelsea as well are going to be interesting. It's going to be really hard to get back into the top four, but I can't wait to see how we do it. I don't think we should fear those teams. Even Man City to an extent. I think we can go up against anyone and give anyone a game now. We have the quality and ability to do that. I really feel like we owe Liverpool one. I just feel like they just seem to have one over on us all the time, and it would be nice to actually, get one over on them and beat them this season. So I'm hoping that can happen. Obviously, we played them early on in the season. We'll see what happens. It might not come like that, but yeah, definitely want to see how we compare against those top teams. You've then got the likes of Villa, Brighton, maybe even Brentford, although I think they'll slip off a little bit. But Villa in particular, I think, are going to be tough this season as well, with Unai Emery as their manager. It's going to be really interesting, and it's not something to be scared of, which is a lovely thing, because for years we have been. And finally, the fifth thing that I'm really looking forward to is just seeing who else will sign this season. So obviously the transfer window is still open for another month or so, best part of the month. I think we need to strengthen in defence, have some more strength in depth at centre half. Whether that happens this August or in January, I don't know. But I do think that's the next area that we'll need to fill, and I'm very excited to see who we bring in and how they adapt into the squad as the season goes on, because we have a very, very disciplined squad under Eddie Howe. So anyone who comes in, generally there's a bit of a learning curve, I think, to joining Newcastle at the moment and finding your feet and finding your way. But yeah, for me, I just think that central defensive position is a little bit weak, a little bit lacks depth. And I'd like to see us buy a decent centre-half, but I don't think the club will be rushed into buying the wrong player. They'll wait till January if they need to. So I'm excited to see how that develops as we go on. Hopefully, Schär and Botman can kind of stay fit, certainly for the first half of the season. And then if we need to bring in a reinforcement, we bring them in January. I've made 2 videos on this. These are 10 things that I'm excited about. So if you haven't seen the first video, that's on the screen now. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you're excited about seeing for Newcastle this coming season, and I will see you really soon for another video.